Next up, we are very happy to welcome Mr. Ellis Oswalt, the author of Tesla's Words. Welcome, Ellis.
Hey, thank you, Ashley. Thanks for that video, Bob. Lovely demonstration. So I'm here to talk to you about two projects I've been working on in conjunction with the Tesla Science Foundation for our Tesla clubs that we're introducing into schools, working with schools to get these educational materials and insert Nikola Tesla into the education. The first project I'm going to talk to you about is my new book, Tesla's Words, The Stunning Utopia of the Future. So this is an adaptation of Tesla's original 1919 autobiography written 101 years ago. My personal opinion is that the Tesla autobiography is the strangest, weirdest thing in the entire canon of the English language literature. It's wild, it shouldn't exist, and yet it does. Right away, Tesla starts talking to you directly. It's straight from the horse's mouth. He's telling you about all these crazy hallucinations that he has suffered from his entire life. And he starts talking about technology that he's been dreaming up of since the 1890s that exists now, but typically we don't think of it as existing in the 1800s. And so it's like this science fiction, fantasy, hallucination, technology story that is really wild. But the problem is it's really hard to read. It was written 100 years ago, which is really not that long ago. Shakespeare, I compare it to Shakespeare a lot. Shakespeare was over 400 years ago in comparison, much more difficult to read. But I also like to compare it to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to give you an idea of how difficult it is to read. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was written 100 years prior to Nikola Tesla's autobiography. And despite Mary Shelley's Frankenstein being 100 years older, much easier to read. Most of our high schools have this in the curriculum. Ninth graders are reading Frankenstein without any problem. But for some reason, Tesla's autobiography has all this information in it, and it's just not what you would call light reading. You have to reread everything 3 times to kind of get the message, right? So I knew I had to bring attention to how beautiful and how crazy this autobiography was. So I needed to do something dramatic, something radical, and repackage it for the 21st century and dramatically simplify the language so that it's easy, enjoyable, colorful, fun, to give what it actually is so that we can just bring it to life. And so I've done this. In the introduction, I tell my audience right away, hey, go find the original. It's free online. Don't take it from me. Take it from Nikola Tesla himself. It's free online. Go find it. And then I introduce this concept, and I'll be telling you that the whole book is Nikola Tesla reading to you, speaking to you directly, telling you the story of his life. He's kind of spilling his beans and telling you all his secrets. And I introduce this this method of these bold quotes throughout the experience. So Nikola Tesla is speaking to you the whole time, and every time you see bold lettering, this is a direct quote of Nikola Tesla's. And that way, it's just a constant reminder that this is Nikola Tesla's message. And it's a great, fun way to preserve the original as well. Okay, so here's a quick introduction of the whole book. It's 6 chapters. The original autobiography is 6 chapters. Right away in chapter 1, he starts telling you about these really insane hallucinations, these powerful hallucinations that he's experiencing his whole life. And he's telling you, like, for example, if he's listening, if he's eavesdropping to a conversation, whatever those people are talking about in a conversation, if they're talking about birds, he's going to automatically hallucinate birds just flying around. Whatever he's thinking about, whatever is crossing his mind, he is hallucinating. And he's telling us it's very consistent, very frequent. And what's even weirder is he tells us that this condition is what set him up for success in life. And he really attributes all his success as an inventor and a scientist to this condition that he suffered from. The rest of the book is strictly about technology and how he came up with the technology and what it has done and where it's going. So chapter 2 and 3 lead into how he came up with the alternating current induction motor, which, as we all know, is the foundation of our society. Chapter 4, he tells us how he came up with the Tesla coil and its uses. Chapter 5, he tells us about his vision for a wireless world system of communication. I don't have time to talk about that. Most of us here probably know about it, but it's very exciting and thrilling that someone envisioned an internet long before computers even existed. And chapter 6 is very thrilling. Chapter 6, Nikola Tesla tells us that the existing inventions that he has created are going to continue to evolve after he is gone and turn into artificial intelligence. He tells us that he believes, quote, machines will be possessed of reason, end quote. It's very creepy, very thrilling. And he also tells us a fun story about how he tried to sell the Ford Motor Company on the idea of self-driving cars, and they just weren't ready for it in those 100 years ago when this was happening. So that's out now. You can buy it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. The audiobook is next week. Anyone who wants this book and can afford the $12, email me. I'll send you the PDF. I want everyone in the world to read this. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Tesla's Words. Okay, so that's one of the things I've been working on for the Tesla Science Foundation. Actually, that was independently, but we came together on it. Another thing, I am co-authoring a play for the Tesla Science Foundation with Gordana Pavlovic and Mr. Nikola Longtar himself. They've written a great plot, and I'm just helping them rewrite some dialogue. And it's a great story. It's kind of like A Night at the Museum with Ben Stiller, or maybe a little bit like Magic School Bus, the 1990s cartoon show. And it's part of this package of materials we're giving schools for their Tesla clubs. Okay, so this is the story of a classroom where one of the students becomes aware of Nikola Tesla and brings it to the teacher's attention. The teacher's a little zany, and she takes it upon herself, and she realizes, okay, well, we're not learning about this in the textbooks. So she drops what she's doing. She drops her coursework for the day, and she takes the class to the Tesla Science Foundation Tesla Museum to learn about Nikola Tesla, since it's not being taught in the textbooks. And what happens when they reach the museum is that the museum comes to life. And in a sort of a way, we meet Nikola Tesla himself in the flesh, in the form of a hologram. And Nikola Tesla tells you the story of his life. Not so much in the book that I just told you about. He really tells you a lot of personal details about his life. So in this play, it's more strictly a technology education. But it's really exciting. This museum is coming to life. Nikola Tesla himself is still alive there, speaking to us. And there are other scenes that come to life in the form of holograms. And what's really fun is, as soon as possible, the Tesla Science Foundation is trying to film this to give it to the schools so they can have it as a resource and put it in projectors so that the actors, the children, the actors who are performing this play can play alongside the film projection, which will be the hologram in the story, the Nikola Tesla hologram and the other holograms. Okay, let's see. And it doesn't necessarily have to be performed and produced by schools. They can also use it as just a group activity, reading aloud, assigning each child a particular character as the teacher leads them in this group activity of reading it out loud. Although we do want to encourage the schools to put it on if they can. And we want to do it and give them all the resources and all the attention we can. We want it to be cost efficient. If schools have a $0 budget, we want them to be able to produce the play. And so it's not just the book and the play. The script for the play is going to be finished really soon. The book is finished now, but it's not just these two materials. that we're giving the Tesla clubs, we're also giving them additional study materials to go along with the book and the play, study questions, discussion questions. We want to do everything to facilitate the learning that we can to make it as easy as possible for our teachers to get this to the children, to get the children excited, to get the kids, the students, young adults excited and about learning about Nikola Tesla. Yeah, again, check out teslaswords.com, follow Tesla's Words on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'll be very active. Audiobooks next week. And I guess you'll probably be hearing another speaker talk about the Tesla clubs a little bit more. So thank you guys so much. Excited to get to know you all and be here with you today. And I think that wraps it up for me. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Alice. We really appreciate your work. As you've been listening here, you can tell that now we have, when people are asking, well, where's the stuff for Tesla Club? This is it. You, me, everyone here, we are the stuff for Tesla Club. So Ellis's book, the play, Bob's recording, and all the materials we're going to present here today will be available for any of the Tesla clubs who want to use them as we work through the next year.